Sarah and Sparky Marquis are a husband and wife winemaking team based in McLaren Vale, Australia. They're total college sweethearts. Fantastic.
That's why there's a love series.
That's one of the reasons there's a love series. They feel as though they've actually been traveling down an enchanted path. I think it's important for people at home to know that they are some of the, literally as far as we can tell, the most decorated winemakers in the entire world.
Okay.
They've had more 94-point scores and above by Robert Parker than any other winemaker in the world in the last 10 years. 5 wines rated 99 points by Robert Parker in the last 10 years. They've been named Australian Winemakers of the Year. They've been named Robert Parker's top wine personalities in the world. They've been crowned the Bushing King and Queen, which is like means they're the best winemakers in Australia, which not a lot of Americans know about that, but it's a huge award down under.
Down under.
So they're truly phenomenal. So as we go through the labels, all the Lefty series, which again is our $25 series, all of the labels actually represent sort of a fun piece of being left-handed.
Okay.
So the violinist is actually, the illustration shows a little girl poked by her neighbor in the eye with a bow, because if you're a left-handed violinist, you're going to poke your neighbor. So Sarah, this actually happened to her. They forced her to play right-handed in school. The scooter is actually, Sparky used to race scooters something like 20 miles at a time in these 20-mile scooter races, so you've got your left-footed, goofy-footed scooter. Maitre d', Sparky actually put himself through winemaking college as a left-handed maitre d', so that's him, the klutzy maitre d', left-handed maitre d'. 2 left feet is when Sarah and Sparky got married. Sarah absolutely loves to dance. She's a total party girl. Like, she's absolutely lovely and phenomenal. Sparky, however, dancing, stick to the winemaking, right? So when they dance, Sparky's always on her toes. So this is called 2 Left Feet, which is our blend of Shiraz, Merlot, Cabernet. And then, of course, the 100% Shiraz is called the Boxer. And if you look carefully at the label, he has 2 left gloves.
Okay.
He packs twice the punch.
Okay.
Now, the other really cool thing about these particular labels, just speaking of themselves, not taking themselves too seriously, you'll notice that the labels, if you're looking at them, you can't actually see the whole label.
Yes.
So these are our retail level wines. These are the wines that generally make it into retail stores. When a retailer is setting those up on the shelf, he doesn't know whether to put the illustration out or the name of the wine out.
Yeah.
So in order to see the whole label, you have to
touch the
bottle. And there's some study that somebody did in Australia that said if somebody puts their hand on a bottle, they're like 50% more likely to buy it. Well, Sparky said, why don't we go one step further? If people put 2 hands on the bottle, then they're probably way more likely to buy it. So in order to read our back labels, we did them sideways, so you actually have to hold it with 2 hands so that you can read the whole back label. The other really fun thing that you shouldn't miss is whenever you're out at dinner, you've ordered this beautiful wine, you're like, oh, I was at dinner and we had that gorgeous wine. What was it? Well, if you ever see a bottle of Molly Dooker, you can always take the tear-off tab, which actually has our logo, the name of the wine, the vintage, and our website on it.
And you can stick it to your credit card.
Or your forehead.
Oh yeah, maybe. Oh God,
The party series that Sarah and Sparky make, they're like the party wines. They're the wines that you bring over to your friend's house and you're gonna wow everyone. It's, you know, it's a $50, $55 bottle of wine. Absolutely stunning for the price. Our 100% Cabernet Sauvignon in our party series is called Giggle Pot.
Okay.
And this is actually a picture of Holly, Sarah and Sparky's daughter.
Okay.
And then we've got Blue Eyed Boy, which is Sarah and Sparky's son. Just for total kicks, because Sarah absolutely loves sparkling Shiraz, and this one's called Goosebumps. And Sarah's actually the inspiration and has worked with our designers to create all of these labels herself. You do not want to do the Molly Dooker shake on Goosebumps.
Yeah, okay.
Own custom velvet bag.
Hello.
And also has its own velvet label. Would you like to touch my label?
I would like to touch your label.
And it's embossed in silver, and it's a black velvet label, and you can see
even on the back.
Yep, front and back labels. Is Velvet Glove. This is the 2007 Velvet Glove. Fairly hard to find at this point. Goes to represent, you know, the sort of top and best winemaking that Sarah and Sparky have ever achieved, which is that 100% fruit weight, that velvety fruit flavor that just completely enraptures your entire tongue. Last is our love series, and I just said that they will tell you that they truly feel as though they've been on this enchanted path. Well, their goal was to follow the enchanted path into the Carnival of Love, where they can actually share all of this incredible wine with all their friends and family and just party and have a great time and live there forever. And it's kind of like the Carnival of Love. It's where everybody wants to be and no one ever wants to leave. But if you notice, we did something funny with these labels too.
Yeah, I see.
When you put the two bottles together, they actually create one image.
Oh.
So if you notice, the picture becomes one label.
Yes.
So they truly are a matched pair. So you can follow your own enchanted path.
So you have to buy both. What did you call the fruit weight?
Marquis Fruit Weight. The idea of fruit weight is there are structural components in the wine and then there's fruit. And the only thing that you can't really make up in the winery is fruit. You have to get that from the vineyard.
Yes.
And that goes back to the 20 years of research of Sarah and Sparky, having done research in the vineyard to come up with the best, most amazing, perfectly ripe grapes in the vineyard. Because you can't make that up, no matter how hard you try. So once they get perfectly balanced fruit through their Marquis Vineyard watering program, they then work to balance the structure so that the wine then comes into perfect harmony. The quality level is measured by the fruit weight, so the level of fruit that's in any given bottle. In our Lefty series, the fruit weight is going to be 65 to 70%. Now what that means is that from the tip of your tongue all the way back, for as far back as you can taste wine, to the back of your palate. We don't measure it in inches because everybody has a different length of tongue.
Yes.
We measure it in percentages.
Okay.
So when you take a sip of the boxer, you tell me how far back from the tip of your tongue to the back of your palate the fruit goes before you taste any of the prickly sensations of structure.
Okay, let's try that.
And women are usually immediately a little bit better than the guys at guessing the first time.
I couldn't feel any tannins. There was no tannins. So my tongue is maybe too long.
So how far back on your tongue are you getting that sensation of fruit?
Probably 80% of my tongue.
Okay, that's a good guess. So we'll calibrate your palate on the first wine.
Okay.
Because this is actually 65 to 70%.
All right.
Now as we go up the level, Blue Eyed Boy is going to be 75 to 80%, so that fruit sensation is going to go back even further. On the Carnival of Love Shiraz, it's going to go back 85 to 90%.
And the velvet should be all the way.
Velvet Glove should be like all the way to infinity.
Yes,
and technically it's considered 95% plus. So you can be absolutely 100% guaranteed that when we bottle a bottle of wine, it is going to be a guaranteed quality level.
Okay.
Every year. And sadly enough, we're just getting ready to release our 2008 vintage.
Okay.
The only thing we'll be releasing are our $25 wines.
Yes.
None of the wines made a high enough fruit weight to make it into the Party Series, the Love Series, or the Velvet Glove.
Okay.
Now that's sad, but the really great news is that every time you buy a bottle of Molly Dooker, you know that it's going to be worth the price point on the outside. Napa Valley's even better now that Molly Dooker's here.
There you go. Until next time, remember, life is too short. Always drink good wine.